We're continuing to paint barn and apples. Okay, what we're going to do, we're going to go with a little bit of brown on the upper part of the roofs just to make it not show up too much. Okay, we're going to go with that, like that. Okay, we're going to go with a little bit, just a little bit of more orange in here. That's a little bit of hay to feed the animals during the winter. Now we're going to, these posts, some of them need to be a little bit taller as they get closer, just to show you perspective. We're going to make them a little bit taller, some that are in the foreground. And there's one right here. Okay. Now let's see, we need to make an indication of a little bit of separation in the land. It kind of, right here, there's kind of like a little hill. So what we want to do is we want to just make a little bit of a, towards a little bit darker up on top. That way it actually looks like that there is an indentation there. We're just going to darken that a little bit right in here. We're not really going to worry about it being perfect or anything. We just want to show a little bit of indication. But there's kind of like a hill there. Okay. Now we're going to wipe off a little bit of the water. All I'm doing here is I'm just smoothing that a little bit on the top, just so that it kind of looks like there's a shadow over the top of the hill. There we go. Now that'll give an indication that the land, there's a difference there. Now we're going to, there's a nice little tree that lives right around in here somewhere. He's a pretty big tree, so he's actually going to cover up this post that's right there. But nothing we can do about it, it's just the way it is. We're going to make a nice little tree right here. Okay, it don't have to be perfect. We're just going to lay down a little bit of black for now. Then the beauty of acrylic paint is that if you lay down something if you go on to something else, if you work on something else for a little while, the good thing is that tree will be totally dry real soon. So now we're going to, right around in here, we're going to put a little pine tree. Little pine tree lives right here. Little pine tree don't have to be perfect. He just needs to go right up here. And we want to put little branches on little pine tree. And we want to make little pine tree look like he's got some branches and stuff. We want to go like over in here. Limbs. Just more or less what we're doing is we're just giving indication. We're not going to try to get every little branch. We could sit here all day and try to do every little branch, and it's not going to work out that way. We just want to give indication. We want to show where he's living, and we want to over in here. He lives right in here too. It's a nice little place to live. He wants to go over in here, and over in here some. And some of it wants to be a little bit, what you want to say, a little bit subtle. Now we're going to make a little post. He lives over in here somewhere. It doesn't really matter where we put the little post. He just lives over here somewhere. I'm going to just put him right there. We're going to make him real perfect. Little post he lives about right there. And down here there's a basket of apples. We're going to go kind of make a round shape here. And what we're going to do, we're going to fill it in with black. Now we're going to make a little outline. That outline is going to be the back part of the basket. Okay. Now let's see what we can do here. We're going to just put this black back here. This is more or less going to be the background of the apples in just a little bit. And we want to go on down a little bit. Okay. Now, what we want to do right now is we want to kind of indicate that there's some fence in the closer areas here. We want to indicate there's some fence. We don't have to get it real perfect. We're just going to go on over here. We're not going to do this with all of it. We're just going to indicate. And as you get back further, you got less and less indication. And in our buildings back here, we're going to go with a little bit of darkness in the doorways, just so it'll show up a little bit more. There we go. See how the darkness makes it show up a little bit more, show up brighter. Now, we're going to go with a little bit of a white. We're going to go with a little bit of white over here in the tree. We're going to give it a little bit of character. We're going to make it look like that it's got a little bit of bark, a little bit of texture. We're going to give it a little bit of life. We're going to give the little tree stump here. Well, I wouldn't call it a tree stump. It's probably a part of a fence. We're going to give it a little bit of a character there. Now, we're going to go with a little bit of orange. What we're going to do is we're going to go right around here. We're going to go right around this basket. We're going to try to put a little bit of orange around this basket. That's the actual, it's an old-fashioned wicker basket. And we're going to put a little bit back in the background too. We're going to just make the basket look like that it's old, that it's been sitting there a while. Nothing perfect about it. Just gonna make it old. Okay, now we're gonna get a little bit, we're gonna get us a little bit of red, because we're gonna do a little bit of red apples. Can't leave the red apples out of it here. Okay. We're just going to make some little red apples. There we go. We're just going to put a few of them on here. Just got a few red apples in the basket. There we go. Got a few red apples. They've been picking apples and they got tired of picking apples and they didn't want to take them home. So they left them there. They'll probably come back and get them later. Okay, we got red apples there. Now we're going to put that up. We don't need that anymore. Now we're going to get, well, actually, while we're going to get a fan brush. If I can find my fan brush, and I think I can. Yes, I did. Okay, what we're going to do, we're going to get a little bit of greenish here. And we're going to go with a little bit of green on the tree. You got to have a little bit of green on your pine tree. The tree has a lot of character, which is a good thing. That's what you want with your pictures. You want a lot of character. You want pictures to speak to you and really give life. Okay, now we're going to do something real easy here. We're going to give this branch or this tree some old branches. It's got some branches that they're probably dead, but you know, they're okay. There we go. Some of the branches are about ready to fall off, but it's okay. It's out in the country. Nobody's gonna notice. Okay. Well, I think our picture might be close enough. We'll just sign it. Come back and visit us again soon.